All right, today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, and we had a really high quality day. Overall, happy with the output and really happy with the ability to move from one side of the brain to the other, much better than my ability to do that at this time last year and even during like Thanksgiving and Christmas time. I'll elaborate on what I mean by that in just a second, but technically, really strong day in terms of strategies. So like Wednesday is the big strategy day for clients where I'll go through and wear like the strategy lead / creative director hat and come up with all of the videos that the script writers are to write for each of the clients that we're going to head for. And we did some really good planning yesterday on our script writing L10 in order for us to get to some quality 6-week strategies today. So I have a couple more to do tomorrow. Touch on that in just a second. But what I mean by left brain and right brain is not like the actual definition of it. But typically, I have a bad history of not being able to swap from like business brain to personal brain. And my dad's in town right now. I was just peeking my head around the corner. And I was going to see if he wanted to be in the video, but he's in the bathroom right now. So maybe tomorrow. We've got just about a week together here in Arizona. So I'll definitely be making an appearance in one or two of these. But anyway, we had a really good dinner, good chat on the way back from the airport as well. But generally the schedule for today was wake up, work on the strategies. So we had 4 clients that we planned 6 weeks in advance for of their content. There's going to be 2 more of those happening tomorrow. And I've got my pins set up, ready to knock them down first thing in the morning. So that was majority of the day. Answered all of the messages that had came through around that time, like while I was working in the morning, and then went to go pick up my dad from the airport, came back, planned out the day for tomorrow, because I noticed that when I have family in town, even when I like know I'm gonna be working a little bit in the morning, I tend to be distracted because my brain's like kind of in another place. So my goal tomorrow is to stay very much on focus during the power hours of the morning, and then be just present where I am. So like if I'm in work mode, I will be working and doing really good with working. And then if I'm hanging with my dad, we'll be very present. So that's like what I'm intentionally working on today. And I get a little bit of a advantage because my dad and I like to talk about business. So it's a nice thumbs up. So there's not too much of a departure, and I can just don't have to sit there in conversation and like not know what's going on. But anyway, one thing that's really top of mind right now is moving with speed. So previously in Brand Sharks, obviously if you're going to be around we're about 2 years, 2 months right now in business, and we've hired over 50 people total. We don't have 50 people currently that work with us, and there's only been 2 that have actually left. So there's obviously been some times that we've had to let go of people, and a big mistake that I look back on, I won't say it was the biggest mistake, but it was a mistake that I don't want to continue making, is knowing that it's time to have a disciplinary conversation / letting somebody go, and letting that fester over the course of days, weeks, and months. So there's one of those candidly that need to have happen soon. And instead of saying, hey, you're gone, we're going to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I've noticed with concrete evidence and concrete things that have happened. I'm not a fan of this, and I think at your level of seniority, we shouldn't be making these kinds of mistakes. I don't want things to have to change, but if things don't change, then something will change. Essentially will be the nature of the conversation. And I've been noticing these things recently, and I will not let this fester in my brain much longer. I will be gathering all of the data and intel needed in order to have a really good conversation, and we'll make that conversation happen. I will not make the same mistake twice. One of the things I learned from our good friend, my close friend, Alex Hormozy. I was joking with my business coach earlier. I referred to Hormozy as Alex, and he's like, "Oh, you're on a first name basis." And I was like, "Oh, dude, great friends. We talk all the time. We talk from one time when I was asking him a question at the event." But anyway, one of the things that I had learned from him was like, if you're gonna have a conversation with somebody and like discipline them, you have to do it soon. Another thing I learned from him as well was intelligence isn't the lack of making mistakes, but it's how fast you learn from them. So like if you make the mistake one time, learn from it, and then the same thing happens again and you do something different, then you've learned. But if it takes you 8 times on one specific thing, like to make the same mistake 8 times in a row, like you'd be less intelligent than someone who made the mistake one time and then learned from it and didn't make the mistake again. So this is my effort to not make that same mistake again with like festering over a disciplinary conversation that needs to happen. So that's A. And B is planning ahead and rowing in the same direction. So basically, what we did was we picked out all of the clients who we had been further behind on scripts for than others. Like everyone's ahead on scripts, with people who were like 5 days out on content, 10 days out on scripts, as opposed to the ones who were like 20 days ahead on content, or in a lot of cases 100 days ahead. So we sat down with the team and actually planned those out so that everybody could be on the same page as to why we were doing specific things inside of scripting. So if you get a script week of like 100 and something videos, it's good to know why you're doing that, because it's for the client. So we make sure that we're ahead on everything and not ever falling behind. And it was really good planning ahead for that on the script writing L10 yesterday. So it's good to like bring all the team noggins together and make it happen. So anyways, overall, really solid Wednesday. Happy with it. Thursday, we got big deep work tomorrow morning. A few strategies that need to get done, and just overall organization of thoughts and notes. We'll probably do lunch or something. My dad will find out. And then I've got a shoot in Scottsdale at 3. It'll probably go for a couple hours, and then I'll be back and ready to go. So make it happen. See you tomorrow.